I've now tested the Renpho AI smart bike for 30 days, and here are my thoughts. So let's jump right into the review. So the Renpho AI powered bike is a stationary bike that you can use and is attached to an AI gym app that can control the resistance of your workouts by following a workout plan or manually using a turn dial. The reason I got this bike is because I had a different one called the Yosuda indoor spin bike, which only had the standard spin or turn knob that you use to raise and lower the resistance. And this was just one of those brake pads that would raise and lower, but I never had any actual digital feedback to know what my resistance was during my workouts. So outside the price, the main draw to this is that there was no monthly membership fees to use any of the app's courses, which is absolutely amazing for a device that can do this style of resistance training for you. So taking a look at the purchase details, I bought this product back on December 15th of 2020, and the listed price on Amazon at the time was $799.99. As mentioned before, there was a 20% off coupon, which did save me $200 off the listed price. So the total coming in after Texas taxes was $649.99. So the price as of now has gone back up to that $800, even listed on their regular website, but just know that at the time I did get this for $600 because I got it at the launch price with that discount. And if you did miss it, I did a full unboxing video of the Renpho AI powered spin bike, so make sure you go and check it out if you want to see everything you get when it arrives on your doorstep. And with that, let's jump into my pros and cons list, starting off with the pros for the Renpho AI powered spin bike. First pro, and I did mention this before, but it can easily go in and out of my closet. There are two wheels on the front by the handlebars on the floor, so you can just kind of turn the bike down and easily just roll it in and out of my closet. I actually, before buying this, made sure to check out the dimensions of the width, and being 20 inches and my doorway at 22 inches just barely fits, but it does make it each and every time. So no longer damaging my walls or trying to shimmy it out of my closet, it just rolls right on out. Next up, you have a turn dial, which shows you your gear or resistance that you are currently working with in your training. So some of the workouts that you do, you can just change it on your own. Others, it again is changing it for you. But this is really great to see, especially if you're someone looking to progress with their bike training over time. You can kind of see where you started at with the digital number gives you, and if you are improving each time you do that workout. I also found that in many of the programs, this changes based on the grade or slope you are biking on, which is pretty cool. So if you're doing one of those outdoor bikes on the app, based on the grade you're going up, if you stick to a certain gear and it gets a really high grade, it'll actually get a lot harder for the bike to go up it. So it's pretty cool what this can do overall for your training. So with that, there are 3 different styles of workouts you can do within the AI Gym app. The first one, and the one I do most of the time, are what are called power courses. This is where you pick 4 different workouts that change your riding resistance at certain intervals to improve your time. So I think they have something like the beginning basic training, then interval training, endurance training, and then muscle building training, which is kind of just like heavy interval training. The next course you have are what are known as video courses, and these are teacher-led courses that you follow along with, similar to any spin class you would do in a gym. So if you've also seen any of those ads for things like Peloton, where you have an instructor and maybe 2 supporting bikers behind them, it's very, very similar to that, and you just follow along with them for the duration of the workout. And the last one, which is kind of like 2 different styles actually within it, are the riding challenges. The first one is where you actually get to kind of go out in the world and you download what is like a scenic route of your bike ride. So again, you can they pick locations all out through the world, someone went biking on it, and you kind of just bike with them. And again, it can change the grade to make it harder, and then you pick the gear you want to do if you're going uphill or downhill to make it easier or harder throughout that entire workout. The next one, and this is also one of my favorites, are the races. So what happens is it basically makes a Google map of your race, and then based on what's called your FTP, it matches you against riders of your same skill level. So what you have to do is you're trying to beat them from one location to the other on the map, which is a real world map location, but you're trying to, again, race them to the finish and be the one who finishes first. It's nothing too graphically impressive here. It's just a little dot on a map that's going, basically you're going on Google Maps, but it's kind of cool to see your little icon get up ahead of everybody else and win in those races. For me, I've yet to lose one, but I'm pretty sure they're just matching me off on the easier people to start with, but then I'm hoping that it ramps it up and makes it harder for me to win later on. My next pro is that this bike is very, very stable. Now, it is only 20 inches wide, so I was expecting to have a little more wiggle, but I'm very surprised at actually how stable it is. I had problems with my last bike and the seat kind of turning on me and the handlebars turning and being kind of jittery and loud, but I was very surprised. I jumped on this thing, and I feel like it barely even feels like I'm on it. The thing doesn't move at all. It just does exactly what I want, and I really do love this bike so far. And my last pro is that it does connect to other third-party apps like Zwift. So if you're someone using one of those, this will connect and use many of the sensors of the bike in the actual app itself, so you don't need to go buying any special pedals or heart rate monitors and things like that, but you can go out and just use it right away, and it works right out of the box. I did it on day one. I made a trial on Zwift and did it. I'm not using Zwift anymore, so this was more of an initial trial phase to just see if it worked, because I just use the app for free. I don't really need to pay for a subscription to Zwift, but just know it does work with the app, which is really cool, and many other third-party apps. Now, one thing before I jump into my cons, I did run into an issue where I actually signed up my AI Gym account under a guest account. So the first, I'd say like 2, almost 3 weeks of using this, I was actually under a guest account, and when I realized it, I logged out and logged into an actual account under the GamerBody name. But unfortunately, I lost all of that progress before, which is pretty sad. But I did do another race the other day, and I got my new FTP. So coming in about 228 to get my new FTP, which is an elite level, even though I don't think I'm an elite biker. According to it, I'm an elite. But it's pretty good that I've now set it up, and I feel like it's going to track it from now on. So make sure you don't sign up with a guest account like I did. And with that, let's jump into my cons for the Renpho AI-powered spin bike. First up, where is the water bottle holder? Every single spin bike should always have a water bottle holder. I know it's not shaped like a standard one, but you could have put one on the front of the bike. But for some reason, they decided not to. I could probably just install one myself. But maybe in a later model, they can add one, because this would be a cool thing to have, especially when I'm sweating more than any other time in any of my workouts when doing biking. The next con is that I'm not an overall fan of the style or design of the bike, and it might be a turnoff to other people. I don't know why, but it just doesn't look like one of those sporty kind of bikes you would jump on. It does everything I, again, want it to do, but if they could make the design a little cooler or more streamlined to standard racing bikes nowadays, that would be awesome. I know it might not work very well or get by engineering, I'm not sure what they could do with it, but it's just a kind of weird overall design. My next con is one that comes from the power courses. Since I'm now at 228, sometimes in the power course, I actually get over a 300 FTP to try and beat or do for an interval amount of time. However, I've had a lot of trouble as soon as you get over 300 trying to push it any higher than that. For some reason, no matter how hard I pedal or anything, it just never reaches the top before the timer moves down to a resting phase. So this is something I'm trying to work on, or maybe I need to change my positioning or whatever. But for some reason, just as soon as I get to 300 or higher, it feels like the app just cannot catch up with me pedaling if I'm even doing it faster. Because they have like how fast you should be pedaling. I'm going above that and pedaling as hard as I can, but it just never seems to get up to where I should be. Moving on, my next con is that when you do something like sprint pedaling, the bike can get fairly loud. Now, I'd say normal pedaling is just fine. If you're on there, it's just a small little hum that I have when doing normal pedaling on the bike, even in anything under really 300 FTP range. But as soon as I go really hard and really push the bike, that's where things can get pretty loud. So just know that if you're someone who's really intense on the bike, it can get pretty noisy overall. All right, cons list is over. So the last question I always ask myself is, would I buy the Renpho AI-powered spin bike again? If you didn't guess it already, I would 100% buy this again on day one of their launch. This bike has been exactly what I'm looking for. Yes, there are some cons in there, but for what I actually need it for in my workout and training, this is what I've been waiting for my home gym. So if you're someone looking to buy probably the best home spin bike and you're not a crazy racer or biker in general, you're someone who's more casual but wants to stay fit and progress and get better at it, I highly recommend you get into this bike versus other standard spin bikes on the market. I know it's more expensive than those other ones, but what you get in terms of the AI Gym app and how this can help progress with your fitness training, I think this is excellent, and no membership fees is where I think this is the big winner, and a bike that costs under $1,000 and has smart technology. So with that, that is the end of my 30-day review of the Renpho AI-powered indoor exercise bike. If you did like this review, please like and subscribe to GamerBody for more videos just like this one. Also, make sure you head over to GamerBody.com. There you can check out my personal home workout program, the equipment I currently own and use, and the information I'm learning from to continue to build muscle and confidence, all from the comfort of home. And that is it. So again, please like and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next video. Be fit and game on.